This video will look at the impact of the self-service password reset registration and MFA registration. The latest registration wizard combines both of them, but it's not enabled by default. So this is an experience the users might still be going through today, where they have self-service password reset registration and MFA registration all in one go. So I've added two of my users, Emily and Diego, to a group called SSPR Security Group Users. This is the group that is enabled for SSPR if I was doing an SSPR pilot. I can go and have a look at Contoso password reset, and I can see that this group is listed, SSPR group users. They are the only people that SSPR will apply for. I'm also going to have a look at my conditional access settings, and I will see that one of my conditional accesses, MFA for sales team, is enabled. And if I look at MFA for sales team and the users that it applies to, it's the same as my previous video. It applies to the given users all of the time. I can see that Diego and Emily are listed as people that this policy will apply to. The last thing I need to do is to make sure that one of these two users has the new registration and one of these has the old registration. So Diego is going to get the old registration and Emily's going to get the new registration. In my setup, the new registration and the old registration is done by piloting under user settings, manage user features, preview. I've got a group called MFA SSPR combined registration wizard. If you are in this group, you get the new combined registration wizard. So I'm going to go and add Emily to this group, and I'm not going to have Diego in this group. So Diego's going to get the old registration wizard, and Emily's going to get the new one. So in my case, that's just a group. So I go and have a look at my group and the membership of that group. I'm going to add Emily to that group. So Emily is now subject to the new MFA combined with SSPR wizard, but Diego won't be. So the first person we're going to do is sign in as Diego, and we're going to see the impact of SSPR and MFA. MFA because he's a conditional access rule applied, SSPR because he's in the SSPR pilot group. So here we are in an in-private browsing session where we're going to sign in. We've entered our username. We enter the password. And as this is the first time for Diego to sign in, he's asked to provide more information. We click next and he gets the security verification. This is the MFA registration process. So we're going to run through the MFA registration process. We've done it in previous videos. So we're just going to pause the video, complete this, and then we'll resume the video in a moment rather than watching it happen because nothing's changed. It's the old registration wizard. You've seen it in the earlier videos in this article. And we've done our verification. We click finish. And now we get a second prompt. Your organization needs more information to keep your account secure. It's like, but haven't I done that already? Yes, this is the password reset registration. So I do a second registration. I've been asked to do one registration MFA. I complete that and I get exactly the same message again. Your organization needs information to keep your account secure. Okay. Now the telephone number it knows, but I need to verify the telephone number. And because passwords require two methods of registration, I need to provide both of them. From the admin perspective, I can see that the phone and email are the required settings that I need. If I have a look, I'm now logged in as an admin, I can see that email and phone are enabled. So therefore, I'm going to have to register with both of those methods. Okay. Later on, to reset my password, I only require one of those methods. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to carry on my registration for my user, and then I'm going to come back and make some changes to this. Okay. So I've set my MFA phone number, so it knows my phone number. So it's going to use the same phone number. It's going to text me. I can get it to phone me. This is a trial tenant, and I don't have the option for phone enabled. But in a production tenant, I would have that information available to me. So I get another phone. So I see authentication phone goes green. Authentication email not configured. Set it up now. So I need to enter an email address that I can access independent of this account. So it should not be in this tenant. I choose to email me, and I'll get an email with that code in. Let's wait while that email arrives. So from within Outlook, I can open up my email, and I've got a email verification code from the company name as registered in Azure AD. I've got a code, so I can copy that, delete that email, I don't need it anymore. I can paste the code into there, verify, and everything goes green. Finish. That's my self-service password reset registration done. And now I'm in. So I had to register twice. I had to register for MFA and I had to register for my password reset. What I'm going to do now is close this browser to log out as Diego. And rather than being logged in as Diego, I'm going to log in as Emily. Emily has the combined registration wizard. So let's see what the experience is for her. So I've started my browser again, in private again, so no cookies. I've entered Emily as my username. I enter Emily's password and I click sign in. Again, I get my first, and hopefully this time my only, prompt for additional information. Again, I cannot defer this. I don't have that option in the P1 license. So I get my sign-ins page. So I know I'm going to the new registration wizard. It asks me to do phone to start with. And again, we've seen this in a previous video. I'll pick my country. How's it gone? There it is. I'll enter my code. Now, in the UK, it's quite common to put a 0 in front of your phone number. That's my phone number inside the UK. +44 will be my phone, and not a 0 will be my phone number outside the UK. Let's leave it. It's actually slightly incorrect. Yeah, most users will enter their phone number with the 0 in front in the UK, or whatever your local area code is. Okay, so I'm going to leave that on to see what happens. So it's going to try and send it to you +4407, which actually is an invalid number. Okay? But what I actually find is that works. Okay? So behind the scenes, it's worked out what a valid number is and sends me the code. So I enter the code, I click next, okay? And that works. So it doesn't matter if the user types the number incorrect in terms of area codes and the like. It works it out as a correct international number. They've got to pick the right country code. I click next. My default sign-in method is done. That's my MFA default method. I click done. Yes, I want to stay signed in. And I'm done. Okay. I only need one method to reset my password. Therefore, by registering a single method, which is my phone, I'm registered for my password reset. I didn't need to register my email because that isn't a requirement. Remember, if we look at my admin settings, those email and phone were required for, well, no, not required for registration, are options available to register with, but I only required one method to reset. Okay? So for the next part of this video, what we're going to do is we're going to change some of the options that are available for a self-service password reset. We're going to say 2 methods required for reset. We're still going to leave it as phone and email for now, and we'll click save. Okay. And we're going to close our browser, and we're going to come back in as another user, a third user, and our third user is also going to be set up for SSPR and conditional access and the new registration wizard. So here we are in the middle of setting up my next scenario. I've gone back to my MFA SSPR combined registration wizard group. The members of this group are the people who are going to pilot the new registration wizard for me. And I've added my 2 new users, Enrico and Grady. And I've added them to the group. And I'm also going to make sure that these users are part of my self-service password reset pilot as well. And that's done by a group also. And so I will add Enrico and Grady to that group as well. There we go. Remember, for this particular scenario, I'm going to password reset and authentication methods. I'm going to require two methods to reset. This is different than the previous user where I had one method to reset. So let's open up a new browser window and sign in for the first time ever as Enrico and see what happens. So here we are. Enrico's username has been entered and I've got Enrico's password to paste into the box there. And we're asked more information. We go to mysignins.microsoft.com, so the new registration wizard. It says phone, so we're going to go through the same process. Just pause this until I take myself to the end of phone. But notice at the top, before I do, I've got two methods to register. This is new. This wasn't there the last time. We only had one method to register. I now need to register phone and email because I need to have both phone and email to reset my password. Therefore, to do MFA, I need the phone. To do password reset, I need the phone and email. Therefore, I'm only going to be asked for the phone once and the email once. Country code and telephone number. Next, enter the code that comes up. Click next. SMS successfully verified. So that's method 1 completed. I move on and now I have to do method 2. Now this will be no different than the old wizard. It just looks very different. Again, I've got a code to enter and I'm going to get an email for that to give me that code. I open my email to verify my email address. Thank you for verifying your email address, etc. Copy my code. I don't need this email anymore, so I can delete that. And paste the code into the registration wizard. Click next, and both of my registrations are done. I'm complete. And I get my stay signed in, and I'm signed in. So I went through both MFA and SSPR. So if I wanted to reset my password, I'll be asked for both methods. If I wanted to log in, I'm going to be asked for just my phone, because that's what I've got set up for MFA. If I wanted to add app or authenticator, then I could go back to aka.ms/MFA setup, and that would allow me to do that. Because at the moment, it might just be a feature of this profile. If I go to my account, I don't see the new wizard. I don't get an option to reset my security verification options. So close this user. Come back as an admin and let's modify some more of the options. Let's allow us to do mobile app notification, mobile app code, and security questions. Security questions aren't really a great idea for password reset, but I'm just going to turn everything on. Right? This is not MFA. This is just a password reset option, right? And only for where there's no admin. Right? And because it's the first time I've turned it on, no security questions are configured. So I'm just going to go and pick a bunch of predefined questions. I'll add the top 10 or thereabouts. That's 11. 12, there we go, can't count. Okay, I need 5 to register and I need 3 to reset. Okay, so let's save that method. And now we're going to come and log in as Grady. And Grady has never logged in before. She's required for SSPR and MFA and the new registration wizard. And this time, different from Enrico, where we just had email and mobile phone, we've got a whole bunch of options. We've got all the options turned on for Grady. Grady is not an administrator. If Grady was an administrator, it would only ever do email and mobile phone. Okay? Security questions are never offered to an administrator. So here we are ready to sign in as our new user, Grady. And we enter the password for Grady. We click sign in. More information is required. Click next. We go to the new sign-ins wizard Again, we've got two methods to register, app and phone, rather than SMS and phone, because we've turned on app. So it defaults not to registering SMS. So it steps through the Microsoft Authenticator. So get the Authenticator on your phone, allow notifications if necessary, select work or school, next. And then on my phone, I'm going to go add account in the Authenticator page. I'm going to choose work or school. I'm going to scan the QR code that's displayed, and I'm going to click finish. So from the user's perspective, just a couple of things that they need to do. I click next back in the user registration page, so we're back off the phone, and it sends a notification to my phone. On my phone, I get a notification to approve. So in terms of time, maybe that was 15 seconds. The notification is approved, and I click next. Now it's going to ask me for a phone. So again, I've got a couple of steps to do, and it's going to go and pick United Kingdom. So I enter my phone number and country code, click next, and enter the code when it arrives on my phone as a text message. That takes a few seconds if you've got a good signal. The app is useful where you have no signal and you can't get a text message. So text is successfully verified as well. It's default this time though, because the Authenticator app has been set up, the default is the Authenticator app. When the Authenticator app wasn't an option, the default was SMS. I can't control the default at the moment, but the default is I think it's the higher up the admin list option, but I'm not certain about that. But the default is the Authenticator if the Authenticator is available. So done. I get the stay signed in box, and then I get Office. So I wasn't asked to register for Office. Sorry, I wasn't asked to register for MFA and SSPR as separate registrations. I went through a single registration. Now I've done my SSPR and I've done my MFA in a single go. So for example, if I'm in here and let me sign out as Grady. Let's imagine I've forgotten Grady's password. I'm gonna. I said keep my details, so I'm gonna sign in. Ask my password. I don't know what my password is. Let's say I've forgotten it. I know I've got it written down. Let's say I've forgotten it. So I'm going to go through the forgotten my password page. It's going to ask me my email address or my username, user ID. It's put that in for me. It knows who I'm logged in as in this session. That will be blank in private browser. I could do that. It just needs a quick captcha to stop bulk upload to this, and it knows that I need to have a text, I need to approve a notification on my app, and I need to approve a code for my Authenticator app. Now, back as my user, sorry, as my administrator, I see that I've got two methods required to reset, but I've been asked three things. Okay? All I have to do is complete two of them. Okay? So let's start with, let's say, approve a notification on my Authenticator app. Send a notification. And on my phone, I get approve sign in. I click approve. I have the mobile phone in my presence, therefore I'm proving that I am that person. And notice at that point, over on the left, the two options that are related to the app disappear. I can't use the code from the app and the notification from the app as two of the methods. It has to be two separate methods to reset my password. So it's going to tell me now that it's going to send my password, my text rather, to the phone number ending 75, and I need to type in the actual telephone number. Send a text. And that's because I haven't logged in to get to this page. So it doesn't tell what to anybody who gets to this page what my details are, but it requires that I know what the details are to be able to do password reset. I click next. There we go. And now I can enter a new password for the user because I've proven that I am a valid user to do. I am that user to do that. So I enter the new password and the password has been reset. So in this video, we looked at the implications of enabling self-service password reset against conditional access, against a user with required MFA, having never done it before, and the first registration steps. What we're going to do in the next set of videos is we're going to take a user who has registered for the old service, who registered for the Office 365 MFA service, but didn't have any SSPR enabled. We're going to turn them on for SSPR. Let's see what happens to them. And that's in the next video.